So I will just introduce for some minutes what I intend sharing this morning. I intend pressing further on the Syria on becoming a more disciplined Christian. And I saw it, another sub-Syria coming out of it. If your brother sins. We've looked at the first thing the Lord expects of us. If your brother sins, the Bible says, don't gossip about it, don't slander about it. Go and tell him his fault. If your brother sins, either against you, against someone, against the Lord, the Bible says your responsibility is to go and tell him. The second one, the Bible says if your brother sins, pay attention to who? To yourself. That's the second one. The third one, which I will just begin this morning. If your brother sins, restore him. The topic in the bulletin is not completed. The other part of it had been taken away. So it should be, if your brother sins, restore him. That's what I want us to look at this morning. I can't go so far into it. I continue at another time when I get a convenient time to stop. I'm reading from Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 and 2. They will project it so that we can read along from Amplified Classic. So you can just look at the screen. The Bible says, brethren, if any person is overtaken in misconduct or sin of any sort, you who are spiritual, who are responsive to and controlled by the Spirit, should set him right and restore and restate him without any sense of superiority, and with all gentleness, keeping an attentive eye on yourself, lest you should be tempted also. Then verse 2. Bear, endure, carry one another's burdens, and troublesome moral fault. Moral fault of some people around you can be troublesome. And when it's troublesome, the Bible says, bear it. Be patient with the person. And in this way, fulfill and observe perfectly the law of Christ, the Messiah, and complete what is lacking in your obedience to it. What other translations just put as restore, Amplified Bible breaks it down for us. If your brother sins, the Bible says restore. And in this particular part of the Syria, three things I want us to look at from these two verses. The who, the what, the who, and the how of the restoration the Bible is talking about. The what? When the Bible says restore if your brother sins, what does it mean? What is the Bible trying to pass across to us? Matthew chapter 18 speaks to all of us. If your brother sins, go and tell him his fault. But in Galatians chapter 5, after the birth of the church, it was so glaring that not everybody in the church can take care of that responsibility. So when Paul was writing to the Galatians, Paul wrote and described what qualifies a person to play that role without making a mess of it. The who of restoration. And then, how do we go about it? I will only speak briefly this morning about the what. I cannot even finish the what. The word restore, the Greek word translated restore, is a medical term. A medical term that they use for searching a broken bone. So when a bone is broken, it is that word that they use for searching that bone. And you know, when a bone is broken, it incapacitates the person. When a bone is broken, it brings pain. So restore means to set the broken bone. And it is also used in some other places, especially Matthew 4:21. It is used for mending a fish net. A man named Philip Comfort brings about the 3 meaning and apply it to the context of Galatians chapter 6. Philip Comfort look at the 3 shales of restoration and its meaning, implication for a sinning brother. Searching a broken bone. He said if your brother sins, and the Bible says restore, it means you should help to return net. And the net